welcome back to the Blue Castle Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah.
And I'm your other host, Molly.
And today is an absolute surprise to me, and I know we do that a lot, where one of us is kind of surprising the other, but I genuinely have no idea what this topic is going to be, other than that it's in the world of Disney World.
Good guess. That's a good guess.
But it could be like any park, or it could be outside of the parks, and could be like resorts. I have no idea. So, surprise me, Molly. What are we talking about today?
I'm so glad you asked, Sarah. Today is the first ever episode that is rated R. Just kidding.
I was like, and we're done. No.
I just wanted to see your reaction, and like always, you did disappoint. You have very little reaction to most of these things. You're used to my shenanigans. You've had 27 years of it now.
Well, and it's not just you. I mean, don't flatter yourself. I feel like in general, I am a non-reactor. Like, I can't help but be neutral in most cases. So I got to try to give my biggest energy, and that's what you're getting on this podcast, which is me making sure that I'm reacting to Molly's shenanigans.
Sarah's learned from her mild childhood trauma to not give satisfaction to people who are trying to get a reaction out of her. Shout out to high school volleyball.
Yeah, and just you and like anyone. I don't know. I don't think it's just my personality to like. I absorb things in my brain, and I'm like enjoying them, or I'm not liking them, or whatever. But my face doesn't always show it. And so now you guys get to see my face and how I'm actually reacting on camera. Lucky you.
Your smile seems slightly unnatural. Not that you're not a happy person, but like you smiling so often in this. Wow, it's like a different Sarah in front of me. It's the same Sarah, just enhanced. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Just enhanced. Okay.
This episode is not rated R. Just like all of our episodes, this is rated G to PG. So don't stop listening if you are averse to that kind of stuff, because we are too. Today's episode is actually called One Must Go. And in this episode, I have made a game for Sarah. It's a very simple game where I will pit
designed just for me.
Designed just for Sarah. Just because Sarah can't grasp anything too complicated. Just kidding. But the game puts two very similar, or sometimes very different, Disney things against one another, and the person on the other side who's challenged must debate the merits of each thing and ultimately decide which one must go. So I'm going to give you two different things, and you have to decide what you could live without forever.
It's basically Would You Rather, right?
It's Would You Rather, but one must go.
Rebranded Would You Rather. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's more than inverse of it. It's like you have to mourn the loss of the thing that you are not choosing, as opposed to just think about the victories of the thing you are choosing.
Yeah, you're not just like, oh, I prefer this one over that one. Hee hee. It's like, no, which one is going to die? Which one's gone forever? You have to make choices. This is
It is
life.
rated R. Death. Okay. I like it. This sounds fun.
Okay. Are you ready for your first of who knows how many we're going to get through? Oh, also, if you come up with any that you want to challenge me with, you can throw them right back to me or write them down, save them for the end, whatever. It can go both ways, but I've just put a lot of thought. I've dwelled on this. I came up with this quickly.
Yeah, I was going to say she probably just made these up like 30 minutes ago, but
no, I made them up last night, but equally time crunched. I gave myself.
Wow. Good for you.
Anyway, are you ready for your first one must go scenario?
Yes. Hit me.
Magic Kingdom in Orlando versus Disneyland Park in Anaheim, California.
People are going to hate me for this, but I already know.
This is a big one. Oh, I
Wait,
might hate you for this.
I'm supposed to go first, right?
Yeah.
Or is it all me?
Well, it's all you Well, maybe we both decide on all of them.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to have to give me your reaction to my opinions on all of these.
I'll tell you whether you're right or wrong for sure.
Yeah, because opinions are not, I always forget objective and subjective. Anyway, let's move on from that. Objective means it's
okay. You
not
just said let's move on from that, and then you proceeded to not move
I had to figure it out. Okay, I think the one that must go between Magic Kingdom in Orlando and Disneyland Park in Anaheim, California, is Disneyland Park in Anaheim, California. And I have to, you know what, the final straw in my brain from the last, the milliseconds I used to make that decision, it's how stunningly beautiful the castle is in Magic Kingdom and how special and huge and just awesome it is. And I know there's all the nostalgia at Disneyland, but for me personally, I have more nostalgia at Magic Kingdom because I went there first. I've been there more often than Disneyland. And I know there's more history there, all that stuff. But Walt did his thing at Magic Kingdom too. Like that was his idea to go to Florida too.
It was his idea, but he didn't do any of it. Anyway, I obviously disagree because my opinion is the correct one.
I mean, I think probably objectively you're correct and that majority of people would agree with you. But for me personally, if I had to say, one of them, there's a hurricane that swallows up or destroys Orlando versus there's an earthquake that
But that's not the question. It's literally just the one park in each place. So I would agree with you if it was like, do you want all of Walt Disney World?
No. I'm saying just the parks. I'm saying God smites one versus the other, and one stays. Something knocks out one versus the other permanently. I would rather Magic Kingdom at Orlando stays.
Okay, allow me to make my case for Disneyland Park, and we can agree to disagree. Or maybe I'll convince you. Who knows? But I agree that the castle is more visually stunning and like inspiring or whatever when you walk into Magic Kingdom and Disney World. But Disneyland has all the history, which I know you know, but it's so much quainter and simpler, and like the attention to detail is so amazing. And I think that's because it is the OG, it is the original, it is the prototype upon which all other Disneylands across the world are based. And another thing that only Disneyland has, well, at least when compared to Disney World, are the characters that just walk around.
Magical.
Well, I don't like Mr. Toad's.
I'm kidding.
I like the Alice in Wonderland ride. I really like that one. And
That's
I think
pretty good.
Peter Pan's better. The Pirates of the Caribbean is better. Big Thunder Mountain is better there. I just think that it has so much going for it, not even including the fact that Galaxy's Edge is at Disneyland and it's not in Magic Kingdom. Like,
I'm not convinced. I'm sorry.
If I was going to spend one day in one park, definitely Disneyland.
I think the food is the best argument besides the obvious argument is the nostalgia, the fact that Disneyland's the original. The other argument to me is the food. Disneyland is better.
I didn't even have to touch the food. And in my mind, like I didn't even think of the food. And that is a huge selling point. And I had already decided Disneyland. The food makes it tilt so much further toward Disneyland.
If my decision was going to impact other people, I would probably say, okay, I'll take one for the team, and the one that could go in that case would be Magic Kingdom. But if it's just impacting me, I pick Magic Kingdom to keep.
You would really smite from the face of the earth the park that started it all.
Mm-hmm.
Cold. Wow, so cold.
You put me in this position.
I know, but I thought you were going to choose correctly. Anyway, you've made your choice. We're moving on. Ugh. Gross. Okay, this next one is not at all similar, which might make it easier or it might make it a lot harder. But this one is Art of Animation. So Disney's Art of Animation Resort versus Mickey Pretzels. This one is for Sarah.
That's not apples to oranges. That's like apples to teepees.
Teepees.
I was thinking of like a place you live. Okay, Question though, is it like gone forever and there's nothing that replaces it that's like...
It just leaves a burning pile of soot. And nothing will come...
Little piles of soot in people's hands all of a sudden. Everyone who's holding a Mickey pretzel.
Yes. There will be no snack to replace it.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of others. I think you have to keep art of animation. So one must go. The Mickey pretzels are going to have to go. I mean, I really like them, but like I've said before, they're not like, oh my gosh, like the best thing that ever existed. They're just hit the spot so perfectly, like every time, and they're just classic and
you could still
satisfying.
Get pretzels when you go to like anything with a concession stand. They're not gone. Similar. It's just Mickey pretzels are gone.
Yeah, and art of animation becoming a big pile of soot. I don't like that word. That feels weird to say. But that is depressing, especially if you're like riding the Skyliner into Pop Century and then you're like, oh, look, remember that used to be a thriving and happy, wonderful value resort with cool theming, and now it's just ashes.
Also, if you think about it, hopefully they would give the people time to evacuate.
This is rated R. Trauma. No, I mean, if I'm just kind of going to assume it's less dramatic than that, and it's kind of like wiped from our memories, like we never knew we were missing it, or it's just gone and it's not really like an eyesore or something. Yeah, I'm keeping art of animation, and the thing that must go is Mickey pretzels. May they rest in peace.
I completely agree with you. I'm not even a Mickey pretzel fan, so I think you knew where I was going with this, but I just knew that those were two things that held such
to push my buttons.
They were held in high esteem in your mind, so I knew it needed to be done.
Okay.
It had to be done. Okay. Next. These two are more similar. Tower of Terror in Florida, or Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout in California. So for those of you who don't know, it's the same ride at its heart. They both used to be the Tower of Terror, and then in California, they overhauled it and did a full-on refurb. I want to say renovation. That's not the right word. They reimagined it to be Guardians of the Galaxy themed. It's much more fun and whimsical.
I lean toward keeping... I just pictured Monsters After Dark, that song. If you haven't ever been on Monsters After Dark, which is the Guardians of the Galaxy version of Tower of Terror, like, just go listen to the song. It's hilarious. But I think the thing that must go is the Florida one. And I would keep not Cosmic Rewind. What is it? Mission Breakout.
Mission Breakout.
I think you'll find a theme for me is I tend to like the new shiny things. I'd rather it be new and nice and like impressive than like the original or nostalgic. Because the original and the nostalgic stuff, to me, I never experienced, like, I don't remember at least as a child. So, or like I don't have that nostalgic connection to it. I just like the new stuff.
I can feel nostalgic for something that happened before I was born. Like I
can,
no
but it
problem.
doesn't. It's not as deep.
That's fair.
I'm not as connected.
And I don't disagree with you on this one. This one's controversial, no matter which way you pick, because they're such huge fans on both sides. But the reason I would pick the Tower of Terror in Florida to go is that Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout in California is so much more unique. There's no other ride like it in the world, and if you really want your Tower of Terror fix, you could go to Tokyo, you could go to Paris. I don't know about Shanghai, but anyway, there are other rides that are similar in vibe. They're not carbon copies, but if you were to get rid of Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, you wouldn't have anything to replace that.
Yeah, interesting. And I think that's probably, I don't know, this might be too bold of a thing to say without thinking through every single ride ever, but of the rides that I've been on, I think that is the single most fun ride. Because the theme is fun, the music is fun, And there's nothing more fun than a drop sequence that's just going crazy with like hang time and just the shock factor of it all. Like all the combined things of that ride, it's just, you always come off dying laughing regardless of the theme, but especially Guardians, because the theme itself is also a vibe.
Well, I agree with you for us. I don't agree with you for everyone, because I have seen people get up off that ride very much not laughing.
Yeah,
and
that's
very
true.
much terrified. So it's not for everyone. If what Sarah described seems fun to you, you'd love it. If what Sarah described seems like something to avoid at all costs, you would hate it. So
yeah, but even, I agree with you. I think there are some people that are just going to hate it. But like even people who begrudgingly have gotten on it, like it's not like our mom's favorite thing in the world to be scared like that, or like our nephew went on it and he like didn't really know what he was in for, and
he was not laughing afterwards.
maybe not, but kind of.
He was also terrified because he thought that whole ride was just the way of getting onto the ride. Like he thought that
he thought there was more. He thought that was like the pre-show. That was like your transportation to get onto a roller coaster or something.
And poor guy was like, if that's the pre-show, I'm scared.
Yeah. No, I mean, once again, Benjamin, you are a rock star. Way to go. He did it.
Yes.
Slay. Slay king.
Slay little king.
Little king. He's not that little anymore. Anyway, yeah, I definitely stand by my choice for myself personally, and I didn't even think about the fact that there are kind of other versions of
Rated R.
That's an inside joke. Should we tell that story? It is Disney related now.
No.
Okay, never mind. But yeah, there are other versions of Tower of Terror that are like still similar to the, what's it even based on? There's like a
Twilight Zone.
Wow.
An old TV show that had been off the air for decades whenever they chose the theme. It just fit so perfectly. Disney wasn't that into IP back then either, where like they weren't like trying to promote their newest film or shove that down your throat as much. They were just finding something that matched the vibe, and it just happened to be this old black and white TV show called The Twilight Zone.
Yep. Which I do like that vibe, honestly. That pre-show with that guy talking feels like you're in a different world for sure. But okay, hit me with the next one. Let's see if I can shock you.
The next one, you're gonna be upset either way, I think, and it's
no.
Daisy Duck versus Minnie Mouse.
Honestly, this is kind of an easy decision for me.
Really?
And probably not what you would guess based on the name of my dog, but my dog's name is Minnie. But I'm going to say the one that must go is Minnie, because my character interactions with Daisy have been off the charts, by far the best character interactions I've had. Daisy and Donald, I don't know if it's just because both of their characters are like stronger personalities. Like Daisy's supposed to be like diva and like so sassy, and Donald's supposed to be like grumpy and just over the top. They're just so fun. And then Mickey and Minnie are so put together and like polished and perfect, so it ends up not being quite as like funny of an interaction.
Yeah, I identify more with Daisy. And also you don't have to work as hard when you're talking to her, because she'll make the jokes. Right. Minnie is sweet and polite, and she can be silly and she can laugh sometimes, but you kind of have to lead her to the joke. She's not going to be joking with you as much.
Yeah, I would say personality-wise, I relate more to Minnie, but Daisy's more fun. So I'll be the Minnie to Daisy's Daisy, and so I'll just replace Minnie.
There's a new Minnie Mouse in town.
and her name is Sarah.
Be careful, Sarah. This is on record. So if anything happens to Minnie Mouse, the police are going to know where to look.
I would never do anything to her. I mean, they're both obviously staying. This is all pretend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say the one that must go is Minnie. In that, again, I'm looking at this through the lens of myself, but if it was for the rest of the world, like I would keep Minnie and say Daisy could go, but
this is just about you personally. So new rule change. This has only ever gone to you. So the rest of the world will still have Disneyland in Anaheim, you won't have it. It's like one must go for you.
Okay.
Next up is Flight of Passage versus Tron Light Cycle Run.
Again, I feel like this one is kind of easy for me. I would keep... Wait, I'm supposed to say the one that must go. The one that must go is Tron. Because Flight of Passage is too awesome. It's just like special and beautiful, and it smells amazing. Honestly, that might be the tiebreaker, or the thing that put me over the edge, is not picturing, I guess you can't picture a smell unless you're like...
You can imagine
special.
it.
Yeah. There's like a type of... I don't know. Some people can like see smell. But I love Flight of Passage. Like, a whole lot. And I think... I don't know. It's longer. The whole experience is longer. There are a lot of little factors that add up to me. Like, it's air conditioned in the queue and in the ride. And Tron is really cool and super fun, but it's not quite as like, I guess the queue can be cool, and there's some like cool pre-show aspects of it. And the ride itself is like fairly short compared to Flight of Passage, and it's just not as unique, I don't think. I guess it is unique, but...
I'm surprised by your answer, because in my memory, when you get off of Flight of Passage, you haven't always felt great because of the screens and the motion sickness, and I think you close your eyes often during like a good chunk of it.
If I close my eyes enough, I don't get motion sick, and you just have to know like when to close your eyes. So I think that's the part I'm kind of still learning. I know for a fact, like, there's a part where you're like supposed to be like, it's the time where you're connecting to the Banshee or something, and it's kind of like not psychedelic, it almost looks like you're going to light speed or something, like from Star Wars. That part really makes me sick, and so if I close my eyes then, and then maybe a few different times throughout, like as I'm starting to feel it, then I can kind of stave off, is that a word or a phrase? Stave off,
I think so,
the symptoms. So, but yeah, you're right. That one does kind of make me sick, and Tron doesn't make me sick at all. So that's true. But I think it's also like Tron doesn't really have much of a storyline, and Flight of Passage is like, you really, at least I'm like really connected to like, oh, that part of the movie we just saw that creature. Or
I think that's because I'm guessing it's because the movie for Flight of Passage is Avatar, and it's much more commonly consumed now. Like, people are more familiar with it, so they geared the whole land around Avatar because people liked that movie and how cool it was. Tron was from 1982, so it's a really cool vibe. But as far as the storyline, I don't know if you picked 10 random people in Magic Kingdom if they could tell you the storyline of Tron.
No, I have no idea what's happening when I'm there. I think I'm racing, but I don't know why, or like if I won, but I mean, it's a cool ride for sure. But yeah, what's your opinion on this one?
I'm going to abstain on this one because I haven't been on Tron Light Cycle Run.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to revisit that in our post trip.
Very cool. So I guess I'd pick that because I can't miss Tron if I've never had it. So bye, Tron.
Yeah.
I'm going to abstain, but I could clearly live without it if I haven't lived with it for this long in my life.
I will say I've never done Tron After Dark, and I have heard that is super cool. So I don't know. Maybe that would change things, but I don't think it would be enough to tilt the scales. I think it would just make it a tighter race.
Fair enough. Okay. I've got to pick one of these. I was just going in order, but I've got to pick one that I think will like be hard for you.
Yeah, you haven't stumped me yet. Come at me.
Rope drop Magic Kingdom and leave before fireworks, or get to park at 10 a.m. and stay for fireworks. So, and this is one must go for the rest of your life. So you can either never rope drop again or never see the fireworks again.
That is mean. Well, I'm obviously gonna get rid of rope dropping. I have to see the fireworks.
Oh, and that's so hard. I feel like you made the wrong choice, but then I think about the other one, and that's also the wrong choice.
Yeah, they're both the wrong choice. Neither one is acceptable. Like, there are some workarounds, I guess, of like kind of trying to watch the fireworks from outside, or like watch them on like recordings. They just don't exist.
You can't see them no more.
Oh yeah,
no
that's an obvious decision. Then I have to be able to see the fireworks. Rope drop, you can do all those same things. You just have to be like a smarter planner. Longer. Yeah, you can also like make sure you're going at like really quiet times of the year because those do exist. You just have to plan for them. So I think that's an easy-ish choice. But yeah, they're both brutal.
They're both brutal.
I love
because
rope dropping.
Magic Kingdom, not even Magic Kingdom in particular, but the rope drop vibes are so amazing. Like I would rope drop even if there wasn't an advantage time-wise to it. I think
it's just a fun experience, like to be in that crowd waiting, and then they move you forward a little bit, and then
we've multiple times been the first ones at the gate. So we're at like our little turnstile, we're the first ones to use it to get into the park that day, and walking up into the park with no one in front of you, and then being held at the rope and talking to the cast members, and everyone's so excited and no one's in a bad mood yet. We've talked about it before, but that would be hard to give up, even if it weren't. I mean, we just talked about the time advantage, but vibes. There's vibes all around. Firework vibes, rope drop vibes. I guess I'd side with you. You can't not go to the fireworks.
Yeah, they're too special. Especially Happily Ever After. Enchantment was also up there. They're just so good.
Oh, jeez. And we're only talking about Magic Kingdom ones. There's also all the Epcot ones, and those are awesome too.
I was literally just picturing Magic Kingdom. Did you ever say that was just for Magic Kingdom?
Well, it said rope drop Magic Kingdom and leave before fireworks, or go to park at 10 a.m. and stay for fireworks.
Yeah, so that just applied to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. I guess that could change things, because then you could still...
Well, there's no fireworks at Animal Kingdom, and it usually closes at like 6 or 7 because of the animals, I think.
But this is only Magic Kingdom related, so you're only ever going to not be able to rope drop Magic Kingdom and miss the fireworks at Magic Kingdom. You could still rope drop another park, so you could still get those vibes.
You could do park hopper if you need to maximize your day.
Yeah.
Okie doke. I like that. I feel good about my decision.
Okay, so this next one only applies to a 4-day trip where you're in Orlando for 4 full days. So you either go to all 4 parks in 4 days, or go to 2 parks and 2 rest days. So for every 4-day trip forever and ever, you could never go. Like, you have to figure out which option is off the table.
Can I always be staying on property?
Sure.
What about water parks?
No, 2 rest days.
I shouldn't have asked. Rest days, but resting, like, am I confined to my room, or can I go to the pool? Like,
you can go to free activities and
Springs.
And yeah, you can go to Springs, and you can eat food, and you can do all the things you need to do.
Yeah, you better let me eat food. This is getting crazy. Okay, I'm tempted to say
which one must go.
Yeah, the one that must go is the 4 parks in 4 days, because it's just so tiring. But I wouldn't have to stay there all day, right? Or would I?
No, they'd be all day.
Oh,
I just decided.
Yeah, I shouldn't ask questions because I can make up my own rules if I don't. But yeah, I think it's ultimately long term, as I'm getting older, a wiser, more enjoyable decision to slow down and do every other day, park day, rest day, park day, rest day.
You could still go to the boardwalk and do whatever. Like, there are things you could do. And for those of you listening who are confused, I think the right answer, if you have 4 full days, is probably to do 3 parks. So do a park on day 1, day 2, rest day, and then a park on day 4, then go home. That's what I think the perfect solution is. But that we're not even talking about that one.
Yep, I agree. And, you made this a 4-day thing. So I could just break the rules and call it a 5-day thing, and then make it like 3 park days or 4 park days or whatever. But that wasn't the scenario. Anyway.
That's not in the spirit of the game.
Exactly. That's why I didn't say it until now.
Okay, are you ready for your next scenario?
Mm-hmm.
Skyliner versus all buses, but nothing replaces them afterwards. So where the Skyliners go, you can get those places by bus, right? But if the buses were to go away, you'd have to figure out how to get to Animal Kingdom or Epcot or any of the resorts if you're staying at one of the value resorts. Basically, which one would you pluck out of existence? Skyliner or all the buses?
I mean, Skyliner, I guess. Are you saying there would be no bus options if the Skyliner went away for the normal Skyliner routes?
There would be bus options because there already are bus options.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but
nothing replaces that.
Okay. Yeah, then obviously you have to say the Skyliner must go because like we talked about in one of our early episodes about Disney transportation, we love to hate on the buses, but they are the workhorse. They are everywhere. They are always they are awesome.
This one's hard because you're giving up the best vibe for the more practical thing. And honestly, I don't like that I even put this one on here. This is not a vibe of a question.
Yeah, that was really rude of you. The Skyliner is incredible, but it does get the point across. If your point is the buses do all the things you need them to do. I mean, also the other thing, I was like, well, worst case scenario, you can always call a Lyft or an Uber. Like, and those are usually pretty cheap within Disney property if you're just in a major pinch. So, whatever.
They usually are, but when I get into the Disney bubble, I mean, I've seen people on vlogs and stuff get a minivan or get an Uber or Lyft. Crazy. People will get them casually, and I cannot even justify that. I would rather wait. I would walk further, even on tired legs. Like, the magic of it is the free part.
Yeah, and the fact, I think that what's crazy to me about the minivans is not only like, I don't know, I guess the only benefit really is that they're like themed and there's a Disney person driving them, and then sometimes they can pull up like closer than the normal Uber and Lyft, so it's like better for that reason, but it's usually like 3 times if not 4 times more expensive.
I don't think they're catering to people who are looking at the price tag like that. Yep.
Yeah, but I see people on vlogs who I'm like, you're a normal person, I know you're not like filthy rich and you're still doing the minivan, but
they want rich people or people that are bad with their money
or that are willing to splurge. I mean, you do get a little bit confused by the magic the pixie dust in the air can get to you. So
true. Okay, which one's next? Which one to do next? Okay, this one's a little interesting. Parades versus ability to skip the line. So whether that's Genie Plus, Fast Pass, Lightning Lanes, whatever is available at the time, you don't have access to it. You have to wait in every line the old-fashioned way, or you have to get rid of all parades.
All parades, even like Christmas.
All parades are gone. All cavalcades.
Yeah, I'm gonna just deal with standby, and I'll just have to be more strategic about the time of year I go. And I'll have to be, honestly, that could be good for me to force me to go on less rides and enjoy other aspects of the park more. Do some more chilling, vibing, restaurants.
I disagree with you on this one.
But I know it's a parade person.
I'm not as much.
But also, and I'm not like a huge parade person, but I think there's some awesome parades we've never seen, including the Boo to You parade and mostly the Mickey's Merry Christmas Time, whatever that one's called. The Christmas parade. I think that one would change my life. The Nutcrackers and the reindeer and Santa.
It would change your life. I love Christmas. Wow.
Yeah.
That's sad.
No, I mean, it could be the thing that convinces me I need to live in Florida.
Wow. I don't know. You were that close to that decision.
I'm just saying, I've heard great things about it. I don't know. I'm not that close to that decision.
I'm not as big of a parade person. I like the parades, but a lot of the times it's my fault. I'm go, go, go. I want to get on the whatever ride has the short line. And a lot of times when the parades happen, the lines go down a little bit, especially in the areas right next to the parade path, because everyone's like, ooh, parade, and they wander over. So I see that on the app that all the wait times are down, and I want to get on that ride. And a lot of times the parade is between me and getting on that ride.
But I also I've gotten to where I'm like, there are actually very few rides that once I'm on them, I enjoy that more than sitting down and watching a good parade. Like,
That's
it's
true.
kind of the
There's
same.
always good payoff, and you don't really have to wait for them. Like, you can
And it's
stroll
long.
upon it.
It's
Yeah.
like one of the picture it being like one of the longest rides, and you're guaranteed to get on it, and all you have to do is like, there's like tons of seats for everyone. I don't know. I think I that was what flipped the switch for me. I was like, what ride? Like, am I really going to enjoy being on Jungle Cruise right now more, or like sitting and watching the parade? I think I'm going to enjoy watching the parade. It's just the concept of like, now is a good chance to like knock out more, like get more like done than you would be able to strategically. But so I get it, but
You know, if I think about eating a yummy snack while sitting and watching a parade, like if I have a good
that
seat
helps.
and
Nice
I have
coffee.
a snack in my hand, a coffee, maybe a churro, all of a sudden that one wins. That all of a sudden the ability to skip the line must go.
Wow, I convinced you. Congrats to me, honestly. Molly is very opinionated, so
Did you even say snack, or did that just come to me?
snack?
Yeah, I said snack.
I mean, I was throwing out the vibes, but I didn't say snack. I was arguing the same thing though. Like,
Yeah.
I give myself credit. I don't care.
Good job, Sarah.
Mhm.
Okay. The Grand Californian Resort and Hotel in the Disneyland area versus Wilderness Lodge Resort in Orlando.
They're both in Orlando. I don't know.
Grand
why
Californian.
Oh, Grand California. Why did I think you said Grand Floridian? I just heard Grand and stopped listening. I'm gonna have to say the one that must go.
These are pretty similar in vibe. Honestly, Grand Californian is like Wilderness Lodge and what did we say? Wilderness Lodge in the Grand Floridian had a baby.
Yeah, but not really, because it's really nothing like the Grand Floridian theming wise. Maybe in just grandness.
I think it's just in its ornateness, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna just say Wilderness Lodge must go, mostly because, like, Disneyland doesn't have very many resorts, and it kind of needs that resort. It's very different than the other two resorts there, and then
That's
I would say
fair.
and Wilderness Lodge is like out of sight. Like, I feel like it could be out of sight, out of mind. Like, you can't really see it from anywhere unless you go to it, you know? Or
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but if it was a one-to-one thing and I didn't feel like Disneyland needed that hotel more, I think I'd pick Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah, if it was just like, I don't know. Neither of us have stayed at either of them before, so it's also kind of hard to, like, for me to care a whole lot right now. And I'm sure once we go to Wilderness Lodge and stay there at Boulder Ridge, like, we're gonna get attached to it. But it's a lot more affordable, especially with DVC, but way more affordable regardless than Grand Californian. It's outrageously priced. I feel like Grand Californian's like $900 a night, $800 to $900 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, Grand Californian's
Crazy.
crazy. All of the on property hotels at Disneyland are kind of crazy. I'll see YouTubers occasionally say like, we got this room for $350, and I look online, I cannot find that rate anywhere ever. They always got a better deal. And part of it's probably because it's their full-time job and they can pick the one night of the year that is that cheap.
Yeah,
But-
and they live there.
Yeah, not even Grand Californian. I've never seen them list that one as that cheap. But Pixar Pier, I think, sometimes
Mhm.
gets cheap
Yeah,
in air
it's
quotes being
cheaper.
$350, but don't go for that if you're just a regular person like us. Just go to like Hotel Lulu has been great. There's a Hilton Garden Inn like right across from the entrance as well. We've had great experiences with our off-property hotels there, and although Disney hotels are amazing and awesome, and am jealous of everyone who gets to stay there, I just don't think it's worth the money.
Yeah, not in California, to clarify.
Not in California.
In Florida, it's a lot more affordable and you have a lot more reasonable options. And I think the bubble is so like essential in Florida, personally. Like you need once you go outside the bubble, it kind of breaks the spell. But in Disneyland, you're kind of forced to not fully be in the bubble, even if you're on property. I feel like there's a lot more glimpses of the outside world anyway. So it's like,
yeah, but on the flip side, if you have the money, I think it would be even more beneficial to stay on property at Disneyland, because the second you step outside the bubble, there's like a lot of people without homes, and there's a lot of people asking for money, and there's a lot of like
people selling fresh fruit.
Well, the fresh fruit I don't mind as much, but there's some people that are selling like cheesy Mickey Mouse products where Mickey just looks a little off because he's not really a Disney character. Yeah, that's
true. I kind of forget.
Kind of get the ick the second you step off property. It's not unsafe. It's just you get disillusioned very quickly.
Yeah, no, you're right. You don't have to deal with that at all if you're on property at Disneyland. That's true. We've never done it. I do think it would be worth maybe a split stay with like Pixar Place or whatever to finish the trip, and like a cheaper hotel at the beginning of a trip or something, or just a weekend, like a shorter trip to do the most affordable option of an on-site, which I'm assuming is always going to be the Pixar one and not Disneyland
and it
Hotel.
Looks really cute. Have you seen the videos of it?
Yeah. I want to do their cold brew thing. I mean, it looks like normal. They're like, oh, it's make your own cold brew. And I'm like, doesn't everyone customize their coffee drinks like galore anyway? But you can add edible glitter, so that's the special part.
And the Pixar, what is it? Pixar Place? Is that what it's called?
I honestly don't know.
Anyway, the Pixar Hotel at Disneyland, you can kind of think of it as like art of animation and theming. Like that's how over the top it is in full on Pixar. But of course, instead of classic Disney animation, it's Pixar, which is so cute. It's right up my alley. I would adore to stay there. But in terms of price, it's definitely not an art of animation price.
Yeah, and I think it's not art of animation. I think is very geared toward kids, like the theming of it, and there's some cool like sketch kind of stuff. I think Pixar Place, if that's what it's called, is more like elegant, upscale looking. Like it is very kid friendly. Obviously, it's Disneyland, but I think they were really like, I don't know, their design choices are just really cool. It's kind of like modern. It reminds me almost like, I don't know, if you think about like Soul, like one of the more recent Pixar movies, it has a lot of not just literally soul, but like the vibes of like the look of that movie. I think they somehow incorporated in like the elegance, I guess, of it in the hotel.
Let's see, just out of curiosity, how much the funny thing is this isn't even like the point of the conversation.
But we must know how much it costs if we were, this is like, I mean, if you know, you know, if you're a Disney parks obsessed person like Molly and I can be, it's just a fun hobby to look at how much stuff would cost if you were to pick like a random day in a few weeks to just go.
Yeah. So I tried picking a random date in September and it is completely sold out. So let's keep going some months.
Wow, very popular.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because I thought for sure September is like kind of a dead time, so it wouldn't be as busy.
Yeah, maybe it's different in California.
It might be, but from December 2nd through December 6th, which are just random weekdays I picked. Weekdays are usually cheaper. Standard view room that sleeps up to 5 adults. So I think it looks like 2 queen beds and then like a pull out twin bed kind of couch situation. $522 a night. If you want a premium view, it gets up to $672. And mind you, this is the cheapest on-property option.
That's rude. Like, the only way to make that doable is to split it with a lot of people, and you can only max out 5, and the 5th person is probably supposed to be a kid.
Yeah, and also you're also going to be splitting with whoever is in your hotel room, even at a cheaper place. So you're either going to be splitting like $250 a night, or splitting $600 a night. So either way, it scales with the price of the resort.
Yeah.
Wow. Unfortunate. I'm seeing a lot for around 500. Well, like similar prices to the Disneyland hotel, honestly.
It kind of makes sense because Pixar just got refurbished, and so it's kind of the new shiny thing, and Disneyland has nice rooms, and I think actually some of them have been refurbished, or maybe it did get a recent refurb too, I don't know, but the whole Disneyland resort did not get a full refurb, even if the rooms did. So there are some parts of it that feel pretty old, as is the case with the rest of the Disneyland resort.
But then again, I'm also the nostalgic person here, where I think Disneyland Hotel, it has all the history. That's the original hotel. That's the one where Walt Disney's friend, or like it wasn't even a Disney related person, owned the hotel for years because Walt Disney himself and the company could not afford to open it. And it was the only place that was allowed to use the phrase Disneyland that wasn't owned by the Walt Disney Company. Anyway, there's a lot of interesting history behind it. Watch Behind the Attraction on Disney Plus, and you will learn all about it.
Amazing.
Okay. Frozen versus Moana. These are two that you kind of seem to go back to quite a bit. So I think I know which one your soul has. Can I guess what yours is?
Yeah, you already know.
Moana must go.
Yep.
Even though you love Moana.
I do love Moana. I love the music, and I love just the vibe, the island vibe, and her personality. But yeah, Frozen is just too good. Granted, Frozen has 2 movies to have convinced me that it's awesome, and musical, like a live musical production that I just saw in London. So very much I'm biased towards it, especially now. And we haven't, at this point in time, we haven't gotten Moana's 2nd movie yet, but we know it's coming. So,
but I still think that Frozen is more your vibe. You are Elsa. You're Elsa. You're the ice queen. And then, like, your magic band has, what's his name on it? The cute little guy. Bruni.
Yeah, he reminds me of Minnie.
He's so cute.
He has crazy big eyes, and, you know, he's so cute. I wish he talked, but then I feel like that might ruin it. So, which reminds me,
I think it would ruin it. I think the cute little sounds he makes are all of the appeal, basically.
Now I want to rewatch Frozen 2. I think I've only seen that like 3 times.
I saw it like 3 times in theaters, and I was in college.
Wow.
But like, I didn't go alone any of the times. It was like one group of friends was like, anyone want to go see Frozen? Sure. Another person was like, oh, I wanted to see it and I couldn't make it to that time. And I said, oh, I'll go with you.
You're like, I guess I'll eat some more buttery popcorn.
Yeah. Darn. I love going to the movies. That is one of my favorite things. So twist my arm. I will see anything in theaters.
And you get a soft pretzel with fake cheese. You never get that though, I'm sure.
I sneak in a bunch of candy. And I've been known to sneak in full Chick-fil-A meals. And
that's actually cruel because then everyone else is smelling that and they know exactly what that smell is. And
I also buy popcorn, which is absurdly priced, and it makes me feel not as bad for sneaking in other things. It's like, if you're going to make me pay $8 for this popcorn, I'm going to also bring in some snacks myself because I'm not going to pay $30 for a pretzel and popcorn.
Yeah, my favorite thing to get, this is like so off topic, but I love at the, it's not Cinemark, what's the other, but AMC, they have like the little pretzel like bites.
Ooh.
So you get like, it feels like you get lots of them, and with the fake cheese, those are really good. Now, and I haven't seen Inside Out 2 yet, so maybe this weekend I go to AMC and watch
You
Inside
still
Out
haven't seen it?
No.
Did you enter the sweepstakes?
No, I knew you, but that's just more chance for you guys to win. Anyway.
Well, it's for up to 4, so I would hope that you would take me with you, but...
Oh, well, is it over?
It's okay.
Probably over.
I don't know. Well, it's probably not over yet, because otherwise, if it was over, they would have told me I won by now.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, yeah, my obvious choice for this one is that Moana must go, Frozen must stay, and think of all the awesome characters we get to keep because of that. I get to keep because of that choice. I mean, it's not just Elsa; it's also Anna and Olaf and Sven and Kristoff.
That's true. I love Moana. I don't love Maui because Dwayne The Rock Johnson just rubs me the wrong way.
Dwayne the Rack.
The Rock Johnson. He rubs me the wrong way, you know? Okay. He annoys me because he's so arrogant, and I really don't think he's even putting on a character to be Maui. But anyway.
Good casting.
Yeah, it was really great casting.
He would probably agree to that, honestly.
Yeah, probably. Okay. On to the next one.
Wait, what would you pick in that scenario?
Oh. Honestly, I like the vibes of Moana better, but the characters from Frozen better, so it's a toughie. I think it's harder for me than it is for you.
Yeah, because I really like the vibes of Frozen. Like, I love, like, Norway and blue and white and, like, ice and snow and cold. And I like, all of the color combos and stuff. But I like Moana's vibe, but that is more you. Like, you lean toward, like, the tropical warm tones with the green palm trees, and that vibe is less me, but I really like it. It's just not like...
I want to keep Moana, so I guess Frozen must go. Sorry. I really am sorry about that one. That one's hard.
It is hard.
That one's very hard.
You're not allowed to sing Into the Unknown anymore. Show yourself. It's gone.
Wait, that's hard. I think the music is better, but it's hard because I'm judging 2 really good movies of content against one. It's not a fair fight, and that's on me. I'm sorry, that's on me.
We'll have to revisit once Moana comes out, the second movie. We can reassess.
Yeah. If it was just the character, like Moana versus Elsa, easily I'd pick Elsa must go.
Yeah, I think you're like objectively right, but I am Elsa, so can't say that. Anyway.
Okay, next one. Disneyland churros versus Disneyland corn dogs. They're both Disneyland, and the reason I specify is because Disneyland churros are better than Disney World churros, and Disneyland food in general is better. So we're judging the best against the best.
Okay. I think I'm going to have to say Disneyland corn dogs must go so I can keep Disneyland churros, because I live in Texas and I live in Dallas, and the Texas State Fair has Fletcher's corn dogs, which are, in my opinion, just as good, if not better, than Disneyland corn dogs. I think they're very, very similar. So I can get my fix here.
That's very wise. Good deductive reasoning.
Thank you.
I don't live near those amazing corn dogs, and I lean toward corn dogs more than churros on this one. So for me, churros must go, but I don't think your answer was wrong.
Yeah, if you had an option of, I mean, it's hard to get like once you've tasted a corn dog as good as the Disneyland one or the Fletcher's
like hand
one,
dipped and basically in front of you, fresh fried.
Yeah. Oh. Like there is not like a fast food place that can replicate it. Like I have never had another corn dog that's on par with those 2 places. Like, you can't just go to Sonic, or I don't know who else has corn dogs, but you can't just get them anywhere. Like, Trader Joe's has some good ones you can air fry, but it's not the same. Not the same.
Yeah, it's honestly like they shouldn't even call them the same food.
Very different vibes.
They're in a league of their own. Okay, next up, Slinky Dog Dash versus the Incredicoaster.
Again, I think this one's pretty easy for me. The one that must go is Slinky Dog Dash. The Increst, partly just because the Incredicoaster always has a short-ish wait, or the line always moves really fast. Like, I don't know how they do it, because it doesn't seem like the ride itself is that short. It's just really efficient, I think, at unloading and loading people. And Slinky Dog's wait time is always so long, like unnecessarily long, and I think Incredicoaster is more fun.
I agree. I agree with that fully. I love the Incredicoaster. That is one of the reasons. Well, I was going to say that's one of the reasons that
you love DCA.
DCA is one of my favorite parks, but I also DCA is tied with Hollywood Studios in my head. Like, given on any given day, like that vibe
is your fave.
Yeah, that vibe is my fave. But Slinky Dog Dash is not the one providing the majority of the vibe for me at Hollywood Studios. But the Incredicoaster does pull its weight at DCA. I love it.
And the screams, like, we talked last episode, I think, about like Tomorrowland and how visually there's so much going on and moving that it makes it like enticing to see. I feel like that's kind of like same deal that's happening at Pixar Pier at DCA. You can see like the Incredicoaster and hearing the screams of that happening, and then there's like the carousel. There's just a lot going on over there, and it adds so much, I think, to the park overall, because you can see everything, because there's a lake in the middle, and so it's like it's a different design than a lot of the other layouts of parks, where it's a lot easier to see more of what's going on across the entire park at once versus tucked away lands. It still does have some of those, but
yeah, it feels like everything that you're seeing on Slinky Dog is like you're not really meant to see it. It's like, oh, I can see like the weird tops of Galaxy's Edge that tell me that like take me out of the illusion that it's real.
It's like your backstage.
Like you can see a lot of backstage stuff versus the Incredicoaster. You're just seeing all of Pixar Pier, or whatever that's called, Paradise Pier, in all of its glory.
Pixar Pier. It used to be Paradise Pier.
Anyway,
lovely.
Should we do one more? One more.
We're on the same page. Wow.
Oof. This is I'm trying to figure out which one to be the last one, because we have multiple left.
We should play this game again, though. I'll do it next. Not next episode, but this is fun. I like this.
This is fun. I like this one, too. I think I know what you're going to pick, but I think this is a good, solid one to end on. The Riviera Resort versus Grand Floridian.
That is a rude one. And I think I know what you think I'm going to pick. We've never stayed at either of these.
One of them fits your vibe so well. The Riviera fits your vibe so well, but Grand Floridian is like the location, the vibe, it scratches an itch that nothing else touches. Like, it has its own class.
And honestly, the refurbed rooms being Mary Poppins and how nice that they look, that has a big impact. Because like we talked about at the very beginning of this episode, I tend to like the new shiny things, and Riviera is the new shiny thing, but a refurbed room is a great compromise of the new shiny thing plus the nostalgic and like awesome thing,
and being so close to Magic Kingdom, with like being able to see the castle from your resort.
That is cool, but Riviera also has several rooms with fireworks views of Epcot, with the Skyliner that takes you directly to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, which arguably I like better than Magic Kingdom. This is
a tough one. I'm surprised.
I think this is the hardest one for me. I don't know. You go first. You pick one.
The Riviera must go.
I knew it.
I love the Riviera. Riviera is more like cool blue tones, and I don't think its location is as good. And good meaning like, I don't know. How can you beat being like the closest hotel to Magic Kingdom right on the monorail? It's just so classic. The Grand Floridian takes it for me. Bye-bye, Riviera.
I think I'm going to have to go the opposite. I think you just accidentally convinced me it's the Riviera, because I disagree with you about the location. Because I think the bus ride or car ride, whatever you're riding, from Riviera to Disney Springs is like super short. So when I stayed there for 3 weeks and I was in like a hotel off site, the resort that always made the most sense for me to, so I would always go drive to Disney Springs Park there and then get a bus to a resort to start resort hopping. And I always tried to get the bus to Riviera because it's like the gateway to the rest of the world. Because then the Skyliner takes you wherever you want to go. Well, you know, within reason, if you're not trying to resort hop around the monorail loop. But anyway, I think I'm going to say Grand Floridian must go. That is very sad.
That's what I thought you were going to say. This one was a toughie, and I like the ones where we have different opinions because they get a little spicier.
I could definitely be convinced of either or, but to me, like, I could stay at the Poly, I could stay at the Contemporary and still be, like, really close, still get those awesome views, but I couldn't really recreate what the Riviera is as far as that, like, luxury experience on the Skyliner.
Yeah. One thing I really do like about the Riviera, and we haven't stayed there before, but they have a more affordable option called like the Duo Studio Room or something like that, where there's only one queen bed.
Murphy bed only.
It's a Murphy bed only, but fear not, the Murphy beds are the exact same as the other mattresses. I've seen people say both ways online, but they are literally the exact same mattress.
Yeah, they're queen. It's like a very nice queen mattress. It feels the exact same.
So it's a really small room that just has that Murphy bed. Huge bathroom. Yeah, a lot of them have really good views too. So if you wanted a luxurious kind of experience, but you wanted to pay maybe a little bit less, then consider that room if there's just a group of 1 or 2 of you.
Yeah, and DVC rental, you know, stuff. You could find some deals at off-peak times. I definitely think that should be. I mean, both of those, Grand Floridian and Riviera, are for sure bucket list items, and I would love to do them in the next few years if we can. At least to, like, maybe 1 or 2 nights like we did with the Poly, but smarter because we know DVC rental store exists now.
Remember when we stayed at the Poly for 2 nights and we were like, this is a once in a lifetime thing that we were only ever going to do once. We're never going to stay deluxe again. And now we're like, well,
to be fair, that was you saying those dramatic things, and I was just like, sure, because I didn't want to spook you to the fact that I'm like, I want to stay at other deluxes like on the reg in the future, but
well, I need to get rich first, and part of that is being smart with the money that I have by not blowing it on deluxes unless you do DVC rental store, and we've been big advocates for that in the past. We're not sponsored by them. And we have never even tried it yet. So we might be changing our tune if everything flops in September. But
yeah, I just can't imagine it flopping. I've heard too many good things. I think the main thing is, like, if something goes wrong and we can't go, we'll have to see. Like, I don't want to have to experience that, but it would be insightful to know, like, what the experience is like if we have to figure out how to change it, if we're just out the money, or if they're somehow willing to give us some kind of credit. I don't know.
The only time I've ever heard of someone not getting the room they wanted, or like they booked a room and it wasn't available, they've always been upgraded. So upgraded either at the resort or upgraded. One of the times I saw someone got upgraded from like Port Orleans to, I want to say like the Contemporary or something.
Oh, like a whole different resort. So like if we get there,
if they're gonna if they're gonna make you move resorts, they have to upgrade you, I guess, unless you were already at a deluxe. And in that case, I don't know what they would do.
I wonder if they would give us an option. If they were like a Wilderness or Boulder, I guess they would probably send us to Copper Creek first, and then.
But we didn't want Copper Creek because they didn't have as good of a sleeping situation.
Yeah, I don't know.
That would be a downgrade for us.
Yeah, I wonder. That would be so interesting. Honestly, that kind of pivot sounds exciting to me. Like if they're like, "Oops, sorry, you're going to be at Grand Flow, or you're going to be at the Contemporary."
If they said, "Oops, you're going to be at Grand Flow," I would pee my pants out of excitement, out of genuine excitement.
I can't wait to see it, man. What if that actually happens? Interesting.
I better bring some diapers.
You better start praying now. In adult diapers.
Okay, on that note,
turns out this was rated R. I'm sorry, everybody.
No, this was just a strong PG. I don't think it ever got even to PG-13.
You're right. All right, I think, yeah, that'll do it. We're definitely going to have to revisit this game, this topic. I feel like this could go on and on forever. Maybe we do this like once a quarter, once every couple of months, because
Yeah.
you could also do so many ideas. You could do this themed to one type of thing or whatever. Okay. Anything else you wanted to say, Molly, before we sign off?
Nope, that is it. This was a fun one. This kind of let my brain go run the gambit of all of my Disney park love that I have. So
Yes.
fun.
Nice. All right. Well, we will see you later, Castle Dwellers.